and thank you very much for having me here and to be in the presence, I'm going to say, of the highness. Because you guys, as you hear, for me, you are my inspiration. People always ask me, where do I get my inspiration on a daily basis? It's people I meet, it's the trees I see, it's the ground I walk in, it's everything that surrounds me. And that, for me, inspires me every moment, and it makes me grateful. My name is Ntsiki Biyela, and I am the winemaker and the owner of Aslina Wines. I came into the industry. It was one of those, and as I said, it's a journey to the unknown. It was one of those where you find yourself in a place and you don't know how you got in there, but at the same time you say, you know what, I will excel and I will do well. I'm from KwaZulu-Natal, which is it's not a wine area, it's not a wine production province, and I'm from a small rural village called Mahlabathini. And when I grew up there, basically it was one of those where you wake up like any other child, or lucky enough for me, I was looking after cows. So I was mostly with the boys. So, because at home we didn't have my grandmother, because I grew up with my grandmother, they didn't have a son. So I was the one taking care of the cows and there were all the pets that I was getting as a young girl looking after cows among the boys. Like when taking cows to the dip and you arrive late, and then the boys are going to be asked to move aside so that you can pass with your cows, and they get mad at you. And then you can see that they're like, you don't wake up in the morning, but now we have to be behind. And you're like, sorry. But at the same time, you're like, okay, that's the pack. So I went to school, Mahlabathini Malia Makanda in primary and high school. And when I finished my high school, basically all I knew, because my grandmother had said, I can see you. I want you to be a land surveyor. And I was like, okay, I didn't know what that was. But I was like, I will be a land surveyor. And then she always showed me when she see people on the side of the road who are land surveyors, and she's like, this is what they do. And I was like, oh, okay, so I'm going to be a land surveyor because my grandmother wanted me to be. And when I was in high school, and then I was like, everyone talk about engineering, and I was like, I'll do civil engineering because there's land surveying there, so I will be able to do what my grandmother wanted me to do. And then there was a phase where everyone was talking about chemical engineering, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll apply for chemical engineering. So there was this movement of things, and when I was in matric and you apply, on standard 9, you apply for bursaries, and then you get these letters coming back saying, we regret. And you look at the letter like, we regret. And I remembered at some point, because I had spoken to my grandmother, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go to a university, I want to study and do a 4-year degree. And she cried. And when she cried, I didn't understand that. But then as I grew, I understand that she was crying because she was like, there is no money for you to do this. Because there wasn't. She was earning her pension, and that's what she was taking care of 8 kids with. And I was adamant, I'm going to go to university. But I don't know why I was so sure that I'm going there. But all I knew was like, I'm going. And I think maybe at the back of my mind, I was thinking of bursaries that I'm going to apply, I'm going to get accepted, and this is going to happen. It's going to be all glorious and beautiful and easy. And when I couldn't get the bursaries, and I was like, I need to change my life. There was that need, I need to change my life. Finished my matric, and then one of the extended families, when they came in the village, and I said to them, do they have somebody who's helping them in the house? They were staying in Durban, and they were like, actually, yes, you can come and help us. And my grandmother was absolutely not pleased. She was thinking, her daughter is a domestic worker, and them also falling on the same track. And I was like, I just need something. Because it wasn't really about that, because life, each and everything is a stepping stone towards something. I think one of the things when I talk to the youth that I deal with, and I'm like, do not underestimate things that you see. Because everything is a stepping stone to a certain direction. And we tend to look at things like, no, I'm not going to do that, that's not my... But how are you going to reach that big goal if you cannot appreciate the small step that you can take? So when I got to Durban, which was the first time getting out of the village, and I got to Durban, and, watching TV for the first time. And then it's in English. Because so I was there like, no. And you have to read books. And then English was like literally, I have matric, but my English was, I couldn't rescue myself. So I basically read the books. You know what? That's where I learned that when you read, actually just reading out loud and you're reading without understanding, somewhere down the line, you're going to catch up and you're going to start understanding and you're going to... So that's how I ended up understanding the English part of things. And while I was in Durban, I got an offer that they said, okay, fine, you can work in the house, but you need to, because you said you want to study, we'll pay for your studies. You're going to do your chores in the morning and then before going to school, attend the school and come back and continue with your chores. And I was like, I'll do that. And they're like, that means you're going to need to wake up very early. And I was like, I will. I think when you've got that thing, I don't know what to call it, but that thing that I want to change my life, you'll do anything to get to that point. And so I did that, and I had agreed. And then all of a sudden I got a call from school to say, actually, if you want to apply at Stellenbosch University and study winemaking, there's a scholarship. And I was like, winemaking, what is that? And I was like, initially I thought, I'm going to be making hunters. Yes. And then I get to... And then I went back to the school in the village to get the application forms to apply. And the application forms were in Afrikaans. And I was like, okay. So I had to go to the Afrikaans teacher. We had to sit down and fill in the forms and apply. Got us accepted at the university. And so I was like, okay, fine. So there's an opportunity now. I'm going to Stellenbosch. I'm going to be making hunters. And then you try to Google to check stuff. What is winemaking? And there wasn't much information on the internet. And then the journey began, actually, for me to come to Stellenbosch. And I remember, so what I decided here is like, when you look at the village, this was actually around summertime, just in the area. So the village and compared to Stellenbosch, it's like 2 worlds apart. And getting on the bus, coming to Stellenbosch. But when I got closer, and then you're looking at these mountains, and you're like, I can't even see when I'm in the bus, what the mountains. And then I see these small trees, which I didn't know what they were. And I'm like, so many small trees. And arriving, and then, fast forward, the first day at the university. And this picture is one of my favorite because it shows the Roy plane. And that was basically when I arrived, and I stood there above the library, and there was a sea. You see, there's a lot of people, it's all white people. I'm from a village. There's only black people, okay? The only white people you see is when you see in the shop, there will be one who owns the shop and some, there's like... So I was standing above the library, and then there's all these white people passing, and all I could hear was, I couldn't hear a word. And then I just stood still there because I didn't know what to do. And I remember Tulaniani, I knew then later that her name was Tulaniani. She comes to me, she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm supposed to go there. I couldn't even pronounce the name. We're supposed to be going to Dave Malana. So we went to Dave Malana. So no, we're going there, all of us. So we went. I got there, we sit down, the lecturer speaks in front and speaks in Afrikaans. We've got no idea what they're saying. Everybody laughs, and you look around and you're like, okay. And then when everybody stand up and you're like, oh, that means it's done. And then you stand up and then you walk. So when we got out of Dave Malan Hall, I was like, okay, this is going to be a tough one. I don't understand a word. The Basra people told me that the university was in Afrikaans, and I said, no, that's fine, I'll learn. It's like, now I'm here. I need to learn. And I'm like, I've got no idea what they're saying. But I was like, okay, fine, I cannot, because there was no option. I didn't have an option. There was no way I was going to go back. That one I knew, that I'm not going back. Whatever's going to happen, I have to pass. I need to be here. And, oh well, this was my class, my final year, in my final year. And so while things were happening actually on campus, the pressure of being in an environment that you don't know, the culture difference, and all those things, I found myself crying every day. I remember there was a day where I had dreamed I had failed. And I woke up, I called my sister, and I was crying, and I was like, I failed, and I cannot come home. I can't. She goes, you're not going to fail. And then I think one of the things that the Stellenbosch University have, which is a great thing for students, is the student counseling. I went there and I said to them, I'm going to fail. The university is going to kick me out, but I don't want to go back. So you guys have to do some magic. And actually it helped. And they were like, no, it's fine. As long as we see you're going to get help. And so that helped me to actually adjust at the university. And while I was attending my classes, which were in Afrikaans, and when your English, as much as my English was better then, but Afrikaans was absolutely nothing. Like, I was clueless with that. And you try and follow the books and try and understand what's happening. And we had to ask for tutors, and we got tutors, and basically we managed. And because I had a goal that at some point I have to graduate, and finished. So what I did was, first year, because I didn't know what winemaking was, I then worked at Delheim when I got a job to work at a wine farm. And when I worked there, they asked me if I knew anything about wine. I was like, no, I don't, but I'll learn. So with all the things that I have done, I realized that it was never say, I cannot. It's like, if I don't know, I will learn. So I knew that I would be able to do it. I can do this. So when I graduated, I finished and I graduated and I got a job at Stellenbosch Wines. And I worked there basically for 13 years because I had a goal. While I was at the university, there was this thing, I was like, I knew I'm going to start my own company. And I got all the excitement, and I was like, in Durban, we don't have a tasting facility. I've never seen wines. So I had this idea that I was going to hire a venue, have a tasting center and all that, and I had all planned in my head. And then I thought of mine, and I was like, oh yeah, no, it's not going to work. And so when I started working at Stellenbosch, one of the things I realized is I'm coming into a venue or in a place where the winemaker, it was an old Afrikaans guy. And now there I hop into the cellar to be the winemaker with these guys who are older guys working there as cellar assistants. And the first thing is like, I got scared. It's like, how am I going to do this? There's again this culture thing, because I cannot send these people to do work because I cannot be sending adults to do work. I had to try and get a way of how am I going to work this out. And I decided I'm going to deal with the cellar supervisor. I spoke to him and make him to be basically the person in the core of this, and I'll delegate the work to him, and then he will move it forward to the guys. And that worked. So it's about finding a way how to do things, how to maneuver, where do you want to go and how you're going to get there. Every little step will actually help to focus, to be able to move to the next level. So these are things I did when I was at Stellenbosch, because a friend of mine, she always say, see and be seen. When you know you're in an environment, we've got this tendency of saying, I don't know the people, so I'll stay back, or I don't know the people, I'm not going to go. But she always says, see and be seen. And I was like, I'm going to use that. So wherever I went, I make sure that I introduce myself. I make sure that I greet people. And one of the things I learned with the wine industry is that it's very intimidating. It is very intimidating, but at the same time, very helpful. Prof spoke about ask for help, you'll get help. That's what I did. I called winemakers I've never met. I went to the Platter Guide, and then I'll call and ask for a winemaker. I'm like, I got my analysis, but there's something I don't understand. And they'll literally advise me without knowing me, with having seen me. By the time we met, it's like they already know who I am. So, and I made sure that I went to when there's a winemaker seminar, I went. At the beginning, it was like very daunting because I'll get there and it's only guys. And I'm like, where are the women? Even though there were women in the industry. But like, I would find myself in a position where I'm like, there are no women. So I try to make sure that actually I do all these things and focus and talk to people and get advice. And again, making sure that I get mentors, get people who can have a vision. Did I not meet people who were negative? Of course I did. So what do I do? What did I do when I meet people who were negative? I made a conscious decision that if you're coming with your negativity, I'm not going to entertain you. I'll talk to you, and then we'll pass, and I was like, okay, switch off. And then I get the person who's bringing positive energy, the person who's guiding, and then I'll focus on that because that's what's going to make me move forward. That's what's going to make me grow. And the goal was obviously at the end that I want to start my own company. So everything led to the other. But one of the key things that helped me to come to this, to have Aslina in the bottle, was when I was asked to join the African Women Entrepreneurship Program in the USA. When I was there was one lady who spoke about, what is your reason of doing something? What is your purpose? Why do you want to do this? You must know why you want to do something. And I had forgotten why I wanted to start my company. And that space actually helped me to spark the bulb, to say why I wanted to start my company. And there was this one day, though, that there was this intervention because my company had already started. I was 2 years in it, but doing it on the side and focusing on the job that was paying my salary. And I had these 3 women, one from Kenya, and they called me to one of the rooms. They're like, let's go have a drink. So we sat in this room, and then when we were there, they said, Ntsiki, stop taking drugs. I was taken aback. I'm like, stop taking drugs? And they were like, stop taking drugs. And I really got offended. I'm like, guys, I don't take drugs. They're like, you've got a company that has been running for 2 years. You're doing everything on the side because you just cannot wait for the fixed month end to get your salary. And I was like, they're like, yes, your salary is your drug right now because you know your company can do well. You know you can, if you give it all, you can do it. But you have decided that this is a safe space. I came back, that was September, and I resigned in November. And my mentor was stressed because I resigned with 40,000 rand in the bank and 4,000 bottles of wine. And that wasn't enough, really. But I knew that I had that thing that said, it's going to work. And from there, then I pushed it, and basically it came to a point where I realized that, you know what, even though my first taste of wine has been the most horrible thing I've ever had in my mouth, now I'm one of those who's saying, wine is my life. Wine is something that is like, I have to have a glass of wine. And when people ask me, so when you're making wine, so do you make according to what the market wants? It's like, no. In life, when you do something, do what you feel is good, that you enjoy, and then you can share that with others, and they will enjoy it back with you because you do it from the place of love and you enjoy it with those who are available. So don't do things for them to try and suit them because then you're not going to enjoy that part. And when you do it inwards, from in and out, then it's going to be a great journey. Thank you so much.